Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube class. In this video we are going to talk about the functions. Now let's see why a function is used. That's the need of the function. Then we will see what is the definition of the function, and then we will see what are the advantages of function, and at last we will see elements of the function followed by how a function works. Let us see what is the need of the function. Say for example, we want to write a code where we want to print some message, and let me call this as a task 1. Let me call this as task 1. T1 is the task. Then we want to find the area of circle. Then again we want to perform some task T2. It can be anything. It can be send a message. It can be write to the output file. It can be read from the end user. It can be any task. And after performing task T2, we want to find area of circle again. Then we want to perform task T3. Again, T3 can be any task. Again, we want to find the area of circle. Like this, say for example, we have n number of tasks, and after each task, I want to find area of the circle. This is how we write the code. And say for example, the requirement changes from finding the area of circle to the perimeter of the circle or the circumference of the circle. That means I need to change this area of circle to perimeter of the circle n times. Area of circle to perimeter of the circle n times I need to change. Now we can clearly see that this finding area of circle, which was changed to perimeter of circle, is a functionality in itself. Now this functionality is repeated n number of times. Therefore, whenever a functionality is repeated n number of times, what we can do, we can take away this functionality and we can write it in a box, black box. What I can write here? I can say pi r square. I write here pi r square. Now, whenever I want to find the area of circle, I do not compute it here. Rather, I take the radius, give it to this black box. This black box will compute the area for us. How it computes, it need not bother us, and it will give the area back, which we will store. Again, whenever I want to find area of circle, I do not compute here. I give the radius and we take the area back. Similarly, we give the radius, we get the area back. We give the radius and we get the area back. That means this block of code is being used again and again, and we have written this block of code only once. Now suppose the requirement changes from area of circle to perimeter of the circle. How many times we need to change? Yes. How many times we need to change? I need to change only once. Now this I can change from pi r square to 2 pi r. Therefore, whenever I take a radius here, I get perimeter back. I get perimeter back. That means functions help us in reusing the code, and it helps in changing the code very easily. Needless to change all n times. You have changed only one. This is the need of the function. This is the need of the function. In turn, what are the advantages of the function? The first advantage of the function is reusability. Now we have written function only once. How many times we are using it? We are using n number of times. Where n can be greater than or equal 0, you may not use function at all. The second thing is debugging is very easier. Now what do you mean by debugging? It means, say for example, if I did not write the function and I have written the code here, somewhere by mistake I have written pi r instead of writing pi r square. That means you need to see each line, did I get any error or not? But here debugging, if you have written pi r, only one place you need to check and you will get the answer. That is the debugging. And the modification of the code is also easier because it is restricted to one place which we are using again and again. These are the advantages of the function. Now let us come to the definition of the function. Now what is a function? You can see a function is kind of a block. It is a block. It is a block of code which is doing the specific task. Is it finding anything other than the area of circle? No, it is not finding anything other than the area of circle. It is only finding the area of circle. Even if you ask a function, please give me the perimeter, it says, boss, I do not know how to find the perimeter. The only thing that I know is to find the area of circle. The only thing that I can find is the area of circle. Therefore, how do we define the function? We define the function as a function is a block of code. See here, how do we define it? A function is a block of code. Is a block of code which does the specific task. Which does specific task. That means, let's take an example of the calculator. Now this is the calculator. Now if I say the plus button of the calculator, when I say 2 plus 3, what is the answer that you expect? 6 minus 1, 0.67? No, we expect the answer as 5. That means the functionality of this plus button is always to add two numbers. It will neither multiply two numbers, neither divide two numbers, neither subtract two numbers. That means this plus is a functionality in itself. What does this plus button of the calculator say? It says, give me some numbers which I will add and I will give you the answer. Similarly, a function is a block of code where you write some code. It does the specific, the coherent task. If you write a function to add three numbers, it will always add three numbers. If you give two numbers, it says, boss, I do not know how to find the sum of two numbers because you have defined it to find the sum of three numbers. Is that okay? This is how the functions are and why the functions are used. Just to summarize it, a function is a block of code which does the specific task. The advantages of the function are reusability and the debugging of the code becomes very easier. The debugging of the code becomes very easier. And why functions are used? So that we can reuse it again and again. Now let us see what are the elements of the function.